What's up everybody? Today doing an educational video talking about scalping. Let's find out if you want to be a scalper, what it's all about, the benefits, the cons, some of the tactics you can use to implement this into your trading game. Scalping is all about short-term trading, and really it's also done on the short-term time frames. So you really want to focus on scalping on the 2-minute, the 5-minute, the 15-minute time frame. And the idea is you're not going to be in the trade for a very long period of time. Opposite of swing trading, opposite of going long, you want quick, immediate satisfaction results on the trade. When to use scalping? So there's a couple of different things you could do. Either it's who you are. You want to be a scalper. You don't like the overnight risk. You don't want any fundamentals to come in and impact your position overnight. You don't want the broader market to affect your position. You like to make your day trade and not worry about what's going to happen overnight. That's your preferred style. The drawback on that is if you caught a nice stock, you were in a nice position today, and you let go of it, you take your little 1%, 2%, 3% scalp, and then the next day you see a 10% gap up open and the stock continues to run. But that's a style that you've accepted and you're comfortable with. So as long as you put that in the psychological mindset of who you are as a trader, you're going to be okay with letting gains go without you. Scalping is for you. Also, if you're a swing trader or a long-term investor, but you do want to participate in momentum stocks that are absolutely ripping, taking off, that's when, traders got FOMO. They look at the stock and they say, wow, the stock is absolutely roaring. It's up 20%. Look at the volume today. But as a swing trader, I've missed my entry. I need consolidation on this chart. I need consolidation on the daily. I need to find a higher low, and you skip it. Well, that's where you could say, you know what? I'm going to go in and scalp this chart because there's a day trading opportunity available here, and I want to participate in it. Whether the stock's roaring bullish to the upside or it's dumping bearish to the downside, and you're looking for an oversold bounce. And that's where you can use a scalp trading mindset. Typically, as a scalper, you want to focus on the active times in the market, 9:30 to 11, when the bell rings, all that first hour and a half of positioning. You don't want to take on new trades during the lunch hours. That's where you're going to get the most fake outs. You're going to get a bull break, it's a fake out. You're going to get a bear break, it's a fake out because the volume just dries up during the lunch time frame. And then 3 to 4, positioning hour. Going into the next day where you see a lot of traders coming in, either taking positions off of the table or adding positions on to get a swing trade. That's where you want to be. That's where you want to be active. And that's the benefit of short-term trading. You can make your day in the first hour and a half, or nothing presented itself between 9:30 and 11. You come back at 3 to 4 and you try and catch that trade there. Make sure you are setting goals. Very important to have goals set. What is your goal today? Do you want to make $300? Is that the goal? Is your goal to make $500? Is it to make $100? Whatever it is, you got to make sure once you hit that goal as a scalper, that's all you were trying to do. You're done for the day. You don't try and take on more trades. Now let's just say simplified, your goal was 300. You're up on a trade. You're up over 350. The trade's going well. It doesn't mean you need to sell. You place a stop. Maybe you take some profits off and you place a stop for the rest to ensure you meet your goals by the end of the day, because it might run. It might go to 1,000, 1,500. It might be a huge trade. So you don't want to just take it off because you've hit your trade, but you want to make sure you have a trailing stop or a stop in place to protect those gains. Once you hit your goal, why take on more trades? You have a good morning and then you waste it in the afternoon trying to catch a new trade. And we know the more trades we take, the more we're going to end up making errors. Stay disciplined. Follow your preferred system. Do not jump around trying new systems all the time. You really want to stay focused on a couple of indicators, things that have worked for you, indicators that you really have tested, back tested, time tested and true for you. Don't deviate. Don't start changing your game plan every single day trying to figure out something new that works. Find the system, use that system, make it your scalp system. I'll tell you about mine later. Don't overtrade. The house always wins. Just because you're a scalp trader doesn't mean you're going to come in today and make 10 trades, 15 trades. You want to come in prepared. 1, 2 stocks you're watching. We'll talk about that a little bit further. And just make 1 or 2 trades. Do not overtrade. You want to be fresh. You want to be, have your game plan set up for that first trade of the day. You find it, you hit it. You don't start taking random trades all day long. The more you take, the more you're going to lose. And at the end of the day, you want to make sure you're trading liquid stocks. You cannot scalp off of stocks that don't move. You need liquidity and you need volatility. You want to trade stocks that traders and algos are trading. Where are the stocks that are moving? Do not trade a stock that has $100,000 worth of cash volume being traded in that day. You want to trade the stocks that are seeing hundreds of million, because that's going to be able to allow you to get in and out with no concerns. So some of the things that I really like to do when I'm thinking about scalping is make sure my game plan is set. And here are some of the items you really want to look for. For me, I like to use my size. You don't want to play too small when you scalp. And the reason why I say you don't want to play too small is because you can make, 5 winning trades as a scalper. Let's just say your account is 100,000, but you're only scalping with 10,000, right? And you do 10,000 and you hit a 1% trade, so you got $100. And you do that 5 times and you're successful, maybe 3 of them, you lost 2. At the end of the day, you're up $100 and you made 5 trades. And then next day you come in, you do the same thing, but you take a loss to start off the day. Now you're down, you take another loss, or you take a big loss. One big loss can wipe out tons of wins. The idea as a scalper for me is to go in with your size. If you have 100,000, you go in with that 100,000. Reminder, you're not going to lose the 100,000. It's a scalp trade. If your trade is invalidated, it didn't work out, you take it off, it's a quick loss. But when you hit your trade correctly, you go in with 100,000, you catch a 1% trade, hey, you just made $1,000 on 100,000 entry. Or it runs 2%, 3%, 4%, you catch the whole thing. Boom, big day just happened on a single simple trade. You don't want to play too small, because then all these little wins could be wiped out by one decent loss. I put subjective here because it depends on your risk tolerance. Some people cannot handle putting all their money into the market. It's a psychological barrier. They're a little bit concerned, a little bit stressed. All their money's in the market, even though they know where their stop loss is, even though they should know what's the risk reward on the trade. It's up to you. Risk tolerance comes into play here. But when I go scalp, as a scalp trader, I go in with size. Very important for me to do that. You want to focus on a few simple indicators. Keep your chart simple. Be decisive off of those indicators. The reason for that is, as a scalper, you're really looking at the price action. And you might want to use 1 or 2 indicators. Like for me, I'm going to show you, we'll do an example. But for me, I'm going to use Bollinger Bands, I'm going to use 8 exponential, volume, and RSI. Okay, volume you need, of course, you need that for everything. RSI, I mean, it's a staple. But really, I'm going to use the Bollinger Bands and the 8 exponential. If you create the chart to be too complicated, where you have Bollinger Bands, Kumo Cloud, 8 exponential, 50 simple moving average, 100 simple moving average, 200 simple moving average, MACD, RSI, stochastics, MFI, you've just created so many reasons to not enter the trade. So you're going to suffer from analysis paralysis. You want to keep it simple. You're going for quick hits. There's enough information on a chart with just a couple of simple indicators to tell you when to get in and when to get out. Focus on 1 to 3 charts. If you have 16 charts up and you come into today with 16 different game plans on how you're going to scalp, you're spreading yourself too thin. You focus on 1 or 2 charts that are giving you, a lot of volatility, a lot of liquidity. There's going to be enough opportunity presented in that day for those 2 stocks. The third one, maybe you want to leave it subject to a momentum stock, something that popped up on the radar today. If you're in a chat community, hey, look, everyone's looking at this stock today. I'm going to put it on. I'm going to make that my 3rd chart. Set up a game plan for 1 to 3 charts. That's it. You're just looking to hit a scalp trade today to make your day maker. Very simple. You don't need 16 charts. Identify the zones. You want to plot your support and resistance on the chart, because you're going to be trying to buy off of support and sell near resistance. You're going to be trying to short off of resistance and cover off of support. That's the objective. Know the trend and play with it. As a scalp trader, you don't really want to focus on counter trend trading. Okay, you don't really want to focus on it, because as a scalp trader, you're looking for the quick hit. You want to be pretty precise. Now, in the event that the chart gets a little bit choppy and you're incorrect on your first trade, if you're playing with the trend, well, the trend can likely save your trade. and it can work out in your favor a couple candlesticks later. When you're going against the trend, you got to be so precise and so right with your entry, the margin for error is very small. Identify your stop before it becomes a swing trade. You've committed to being a scalper. A scalper is going for quick hits, which means you have to take quick losses if the chart invalidates the reason for your scalp. You cannot allow one scalp trade to end up being a swing position because you're in a significant loss, and then it ends up being a worse loss the next day on the swing position because it's going to wipe out all those little scalping trades that you've made over a period of time. Know where your stop is, respect it. Use all time frames, but execute on the short time frame. What do I mean by use all time frames? You need to be aware of the bigger picture. What's the trend? Where is resistance on the higher time frames? Where's the Bollinger Band? Where's the Kumo? Whatever indicators you like to use, the Kumo cloud, whatever it is, you want to understand, okay, the 4-hour Kumo cloud is about to come up, or we're outside the 4-hour upper Bollinger Band. I need to be aware of that. But you're executing on the shorter term time frames because you're just looking for a quick scalp. Stay bull or bear. Do not flip directions. You cannot beat the market on every candle. It's impossible. You're going to make a mistake. So let's just say you caught a nice bull trade, nice momentum, and now you believe, you're topping out. You're seeing a, spinning top candlestick, a shooting star candlestick on the 15-minute time frame. So you cover your bull position. You're like, you know what? I'm going to go into a bear position here, and I'm going to try and catch a scalp now to the downside. Well, then the candle fakes you out, and it goes back up because it's in that momentum, the momentum that you originally caught. And now you're giving back your bull trade, which was your day maker. You had the nice win, trying to get too cute, going in the opposite direction, trying to play every candle, which is very difficult. Trying to play every candle, just trying to play one candle is hard enough. Trying to play every candle, you're going to make mistakes. So don't flip-flop, pick a direction, stick with it. Use a scale out strategy. I'll use my example for my case, for example, when I talk about 100,000. Let's just say you go into chart 100,000, you're in, chart's going in your favor. It's up 2%. You're up 2,000 on the trade. But hey, resistance is not for another 4, 5, 6% away. This could continue to run. Well, I don't want to keep my size in here. I don't want to give back too much. So you know what? I went in with 100,000. Maybe I'm going to scale out in 3. So I'm going to take out 33,000 here. And as the chart starts to develop, I'll take out another 33. I've locked in my day maker. There's no way I'm going to lose the gains from the day, and I place a stop for the rest of it. Scale out. It might continue to run in your favor. Keep some skin in the game. All right, I'm going to talk to you about my favorite scalps, what I like to look for in the chart, and this is when I'll make that short-term day trade scalp. Confluence. When I see support and resistance lining up with a Fibonacci level. So let's just say, for an example, we get a nice impulsive move. It's a breakout to the upside, and now I'm seeing a bull flag developing. I'm not in this trade. It's a bull flag that's developing. I see the 0.382 coming near a support level or previous resistance that I'm going to use it as support. I see nice confluence in that zone. I see a bounce off of that zone. I'm going in. I'm going to use the ADMA or the Kumo cloud. I might use both. It's going to depend. But if I see a stock is bouncing off of the ADMA, I'm going to make my entries off of the ADMA. If I see a stock bouncing off of the Kumo cloud, I'm going to make my entries off of the Kumo cloud on those short-term time frames. We'll talk about a couple of examples when we go into a chart. Volume climaxes. This is my bread and butter trade. I win this trade 11 out of 10 times. It is one of the best scalping trades you can make. Once you identify a volume climax in a chart, you're going to make the right decision. Volume climax to the upside, you're shorting. Volume climax to the downside, you're going in bull. You're catching a bounce, you're catching a reversal. It is a very good trade to make. If you haven't watched my oversold bounce video, go check it out. Breakouts or breakdowns in trending stocks confirmed with volume. You get a nice equilibrium. The stock is already, in an uptrend. Let's use the bullish thesis here. Stock's already in an uptrend. It's been consolidating. It's got a nice equilibrium. And here comes the breakout. Bull's about to break resistance. Boom. You get in for that quick trade. Reminder, you're playing the breakout. So when you play the breakout, you need the volume to support you because you need to see other people were playing the breakout as well. You break resistance, you get in. You see the volume increasing? Great. You get in, you don't see the volume increasing. You're like, whoa, nobody cares about this breakout right now. Get out of the trade. Don't stick with it. Get out of it quick. Reminder, this is a scalp trade. In and out. Chart has to work in your favor as soon as you make the trade. Divergences, money trade. Go watch the Trading Divergences video I posted. Being able to spot when the divergence is going to develop on the chart. It's about to make a new high, but there's going to be bearish divergence. This is going to be an easy short position for a scalp. Chart is making a new low, but there's going to be bullish divergence. This is going to be a fake on the new low. Easy entry to get in and make a scalp. And last but not least, chart patterns. Identifying head and shoulders, flags, channels, equilibriums, wedges, whatever it is. Find the patterns that work best for you. These are the ones that work best for me. And you can make nice day makers scalping these